Trying to mimic my...
No, I'm just
sitting.
I was sitting like that as a kid.
Oh, I'm going to sit like this. I actually do sit like this a lot, so... like all those pictures we got.
Yeah, I'm not acting right now.
Right, I know.
Just being me.
Hi! I'm Robert Keane, and I'm the lead singer and keyboardist for the band.
Yeah, we know.
Hi! My name's Robert. Thank you. Hi! My name's Robert, and I'm from the band... Hi! My name's Robert, and I'm... As has been seen on many a promotional video.
I'm Jacob, the guitar player. I called him.
Yeah.
I told him he shouldn't do solo stuff.
I was doing solo stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Wasn't very motivated on it. But yeah, you called me up, and then that was just about us two playing together. And I
called everybody you knew after that.
Pretty much, yeah. I just called everybody else. I called up a drummer that we both knew. And
Mr. Cole.
Mr. Cole, who couldn't be here today. And he's not Mr. Cole, he's just Cole. But he's our drummer. But I called him up. I called up Rollins, who's asking the questions.
Hello.
Who's our manager. I asked, would he like to manage this thing that I don't even know what it is, that I only found out we might do like an hour ago. And everybody said yes, and I think we planned to meet it for a practice that day, and then that fell through. But we met the next day to have a practice.
Yeah.
So we wrote like a few songs that day.
We had a show already planned that day, though.
Yeah, we had a show. I think. Yeah. There was like, hey, by the way, when I had called Rollins, he's like, oh, by the way, you want to do this show as that band? And I was like,
you got 2 months.
I was like, yeah, we'll get together a set in that time. And I thought we'd have to do like a ton of covers and stuff, but we didn't. We had more songs than we needed. We had to cut out a few from the set list.
We still haven't taught Cole all the songs.
No.
Like
Cole doesn't know probably half our songs.
Yes. Yeah, it turned out to be a powerhouse of writing power and creativity that can only be described as Raphael. Buzzwords. That was one of our better ideas.
That was, yeah. I know people tend to like the name.
Yeah.
But it came from nowhere. We had been thinking about names. What were some of the other ones floating around? I had
Ghosts of Reason, that was mine.
Ghosts of Reason was one, which was a song we were going to do.
Yeah, we
still haven't gotten around to it.
That's mostly because of Cole.
Yeah, I know.
No, I don't remember that one.
I said, but this didn't fit. Tree Fingers is one that I've always wanted to do. Yeah, it's a Radiohead song, and I really like the song, and I like the name.
Never heard of it.
But it doesn't fit for this. It's barely a song. It's like more like a piece. But
I think, someone said it wouldn't be funny if we gave it a person name.
Yeah, we were just coming up with. Yeah. I think Cole was like,
Tom.
If it was just like none of our names or something, I forget what we were doing, because we were kind of trying to come up with. We were just making each other laugh, and then I was just like, Raphael. And for whatever reason at that moment, that was the funniest thing. And then all of us were kind of like, what if it was Raphael?
Also, Cole doesn't like even syllable.
Yeah, that threw us. That's why we couldn't do Ghosts of Reason.
Yeah.
Because it was even syllables.
So Raphael happened to be 3. It was a people name. And he's around here somewhere.
I still think Ghosts of Reason could have worked fine. But Raphael's great. I'm not complaining.
Not complaining.
No, the lo-fi one was probably our best show as far as, it made a lot. But I think that our Watershed was like, the Funhouse was probably, because that was one where because we'd only played one show at that point. So we got together and we kind of knew what we were doing a little bit more. We were less self-conscious about it, but it was still so new that it was like scary and stuff. And I think that contributed to a lot of it might not have been our best show playing wise or the way that people enjoyed it, but for us, I felt like I had the most adrenaline from that show.
Yeah, me for sure.
mainly it's like I played a ton of shows just with a few different bands where like you'd play the show and have like a bunch of fun and even maybe see a band that you're like, oh, I really dig those guys, and then you'd never see them again, you'd never hear from them again, you'd never like, you don't go backstage. Like even if I like people, I don't really want to go backstage and like talk to people. I get really nervous about that, and I think a lot of other people do too. And so it was the kind of thing where we were like, well, what if we organized the show and we got all the bands together, and that's a way to meet bands, that's a way for like, and make the whole thing about people like actually talking to each other and interacting and meeting each other, and not just, yeah, you come play the show, fuck all the other guys and whatever. And and then just as the more we like planned it, the more it kind of spiraled out of control into, because like I've done theater and stuff, and so I love the like having a show that runs kind of seamlessly instead of that was the one thing going from theater to music that was weird to me, was like a band would play for half an hour and then there'd be like 15-20 minutes of just like setting up and taking down that just killed all the energy that had been going on already. And so that's something that we're trying to fix here. We're trying to like set up sound checks early so that we can just go right in. People are doing acoustic sets in between during the setup and takedown of other bands and stuff, so it's just like seamless so that people get a real event feel and a real feel of camaraderie from the whole thing. That's tough. They go in and out.
If Cole's not there,
yeah,
they're pretty intensive. Like I leave like with my brain fried, because I remember one time we ran through the set list like 3 times, and then I was like, I don't want to make any songs today because I'm feeling kind of loose on most of them.
Right.
And then we just made 3 songs anyways. Like they're really intensive, really fast. It's a little, honestly, it's hard to keep up, but I've never been in a band like that before. Usually I'm the one sitting there going like, no guys, it's this, that. And with him, it's like, we're both challenging each other really hard, and it's nice that it's not easy to keep up all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that way too. It's definitely like, that was the same night I had that too. We ran through the set list a bunch because we were getting ready for a show, and then you just had a riff. Yeah. And all you really wanted to do was show me this riff.
Yeah.
And I remember you were going into it, and I was going, shit, I'm so tired. I'm just going to hear this, and I'm going to go, all right, great. And then we're just going to leave, and I'm going to feel like an asshole.
Yeah.
And then it was legitimately just like, I was like, wait, what key is that? Let me just try one. I just want to like hear one thing. If I do this and like turn on a pedal.
Yeah.
And then we were there for another hour writing stuff because we just got so into it. But yeah, practice with just us has, the most common ones, we go for like 3 hours or something and have 3 songs by the end of it, kind of bare bones out. And, but it is really fast and loose, and because the songwriting process is, I've been in a bunch of bands where everything is just meticulously like to the last, and I've done that before where like everything is carved out perfectly, and it still never works out the right way. You know what I mean? Like, what I found was that if something sounds good to you right then, if it really hits you, just great, that's good. Do that. And then fix it later if it needs to be fixed. I think that the things that I really decided, we just shouldn't do this, is the more meticulous you get right then, the less alive you let everything be, because then you can't change stuff later if it's not working either. Because the songs were created so quickly, it's really easy to change stuff if we need to, or on the fly during a show.
Yeah, I'm a big improviser, so it's just right in line with my style. Most of the songs we play on stage are different from each time we play, and that's either the result of mistakes or just us having a good time and going above and beyond the song.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you take that one.
Sure. I've been saying indie punk. And the way I clarify that is like Modest Mouse or Violent Femmes, something like that. We have songs that sound specifically like those artists, absolutely, where people will go, oh yeah, that sounded like this. But a lot of our songs are kind of vary a lot. Like we open the set, at least right now, the first 2 songs, very heavily like hip hop hip hop rock, like kind of Rage Against the Machine-y or whatever, but our aesthetic on stage is very punk rock, I think.
The Wolf Dead is from a podcast. It's called Comedy Bang Bang, formerly known as Comedy Death Ray Radio.
Yeah.
Fucking listen to it. It's the best podcast ever. I've been listening to it since 2008. And every single episode, almost every single episode makes me just like cry. And I get a lot of weird looks at work. And I don't care what they think. That's how much I like it.
And actually, the whole band listens to it.
Yeah. Whole band listens.
I got into it completely separate of you, but I got Cole into it after that. So now we all, like, when we meet, the new episodes come out on Mondays, and like every Monday, at some point, somebody's like, "Hey, did you listen to the new Comedy Bang Bang?" And somebody's like, "No, I haven't." And we're like, "Hey, go fucking listen to that thing."
Marissa Wappler's last episode was so fucking good.
Whop it up.
You suck a dick off.